In this video, we take on the Ford GT and the Peugeot Vision Gran Turismo car. We also have somebody hitting the pit wall when I didn't want them to. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video where we're in the Genesis X for Beat the Meta. Now this isn't the Meta car this week. You can't change the suspension, so it's quite a slippy machine. Now, of course, the meta this week is that Ford GT car up ahead. We have done a car profile on that, and you can check that out on the channel. We've also tried beating the meta with that car, and that's also on the channel. So make sure you subscribe to stay in touch with all the latest content as we continue on through here. And if you do like this video, do let me know. Now, we did get on the inside of this Dodge Viper. They did say hello in the lobby as well. So hello to Caspan then as we go through this right-hander. Viper on my inside here. We continue on out. No rear-end action so far from this Genesis as we continue towards the left-hander. We're just getting ahead here. We're just ahead. We can use all the circuits, and we're up into P13, but we are keeping up with the rest of the pack up ahead. Now, you're probably going, Tidge, I thought the Nissan had more votes. It did. I actually did a race in the Nissan. The Nissan is atrocious here, so I couldn't really use it because it was impossible to do beat the meta with the Nissan. Now, of course, with beat the meta, it has to be viable at least in terms of there's a possibility, even if it's a small possibility, to win. And the Genesis does have that small possibility. As you can see here, we are keeping... Oh, hello. Somebody's just gone to the left there. We are keeping up with the Ford GT LM race car Spec 2. So we have a chance. It's going to be very hard to do, and I knew this, but it's going to be very hard. Now, in terms of Beat the Meta, if you're new to this channel, Beat the Meta is all about beating the strongest car of the week. And that's what we're trying to do here in the non-strong car, which is the Genesis this week. We also have to have at least one A+ driver in the lobby. Okay, we can do as many races as we want, and we always start with the last to first challenge. You can vote for which Beat the Meta you want to see next, of course. Once we've won it, we don't always win them either. We will then not do that car for the rest of the time. Now, we're on lap number 6. Not much has happened in this race. I was trying to get a feel on my own here. Now, Muscafi actually chose the Genesis as well as we go past them with the penalty. And we do a 1:45.0. Not too shabby of a lap, to be honest with you. Now, the peak lobbies are going into the 1:43s. But this car could definitely get into the 44s, in my opinion. And that is critical. If I'm within a second of the fastest lap, that's what I'm looking for here. Muscafi going for the run then. We'll jump to Muscafi. Then as we go in towards turn number 1, Muscafi looking around the outside. I defend on the inside. Genesis versus Genesis then. We'll leave that corner. Lap number 9 then, the penultimate lap of the race. And we do keep that position for now as we see people coming out the pits. And we're up into P7 then, so not too shabby at all here. We've gained a lot in this race. In fact, the leader is 4.6 seconds, now 4.5 seconds up the road. Not too shabby of a first race, if I do say so myself. We advance towards the end then, when my fuel is getting low here then. It's the end of lap 9, in fact, then. We've got a penalty up ahead for the German in the Ford GT. We'll take that, but 0.8 laps of fuel remaining. We got a job to do here. There's the 44 then. That's what I said you could get in this car. You definitely can go quicker as well then. So there is an opportunity here to do beat the meta. I was worried it wasn't possible. We go to fuel map 3 there to try and save a little bit of fuel there. Remember, short shifting is the best way to save fuel, which is why I'm doing that as well. The amount of fuel saving I'm doing also here because I've got to gain 0.2 of a lap then. We continue out this corner. The Ford GT of Grey there just going a bit deep into that right-hander. Going to get ahead of me though because that car is very quick here at Daytona. If you didn't realize where we were, I haven't actually said we're at Daytona, of course. It's Data AC. They left a bit of a gap on the inside there. I wasn't really trying to go for that. I want to stay behind them, really, just try and save fuel. So I'm going to short shift for days here. There we go. Really short shifting now, trying to save that fuel up into 5th before we even saw any parts of the rev bar in 4th gear. As we continue on through them. Scaffy getting all sorts of oversteer behind me then. As we continue on, let's fast forward this little bit, of course. We're just saving fuel here, 0.3 of a lap remaining. Can we get to the end? Fuel map 4 there, just for a brief moment. Any little bit will help us as we go into the chicane then. Through we go. We cut the inside. We cut the exits with the chicane, by the way, if you are not sure. Stay on the yellow curbing, you should be fine. As we continue then towards the start-finish line. Great up ahead. I've had to short shift here. I'm not sure we're going to get great here as we head towards the line. It's all about saving fuel there. Fuel map 2, fuel map 3 is where we're at then. As we head towards the line, I'm going towards that inside, the shortest route to the finish. I'll just go off the oval then as I run out of fuel. Muscafi goes around the outside and steals that one from me. At least I don't have the curse there. So I finish in P7. Not too shabby of a first race there, to be honest with you. And it does show the Genesis has some potential. It's definitely not a meta car here, but it's viable at least. It's at least viable. Now we're starting in P10 there. 1:44.6 then in terms of my time trial lap. as we jump to my different account. So I did try a few cars to see which cars were even viable. I decided if something was viable, I got to the start-finish line at 168 miles an hour. The Ford GT gets there at 172, so 168, 4 miles an hour down, but obviously this car's a bit better handling than that Ford GT. Now we're starting ahead of Muscaffi this time in the Genesis, so we are the lead Genesis starting this race as we head towards the right-hander then, and Muscaffi's coming around my outside here. Look at this for a move and a half around the outside. Is Muscaffi going to get this done? Yes, indeed. Look at this for a move. What a move that is. I'm now no longer the lead Genesis. As we continue on out of there then, let's jump back on board with myself then as we head towards the right-hander here, going hard on the brakes. Muscaffi defends that inside line. I don't want to fight too much here. It's all about trying to save a bit of fuel. We do need to save a bit of fuel. We've seen that in the previous race. There you're going to see some of the short shifting now, just to save where we can. Up into 5th gear again there, bringing it down nicely as we go into here. Short shift to 3rd then, save a bit of fuel and keeps the car a bit stable. We know that Genesis, when there's a setup on suspension available, becomes a very strong car. But without that, it's actually a very slippy car on the rear. It's still a strong car though, don't get me wrong, as we go in to the bus stop chicane then for the first time of 10 then. Through we go, keeping it in 3rd gear, trying to keep it balanced as we continue on through there. Got a nice little bump draft from Creedy as well. Thank you for that earlier on, just before the chicane. And look up ahead. There's cars absolutely everywhere. Muscaffi indicating to go in the pits. They did that last time, so I expected that. So I'm going to make the decision to stay out this time. I want to see what it feels like racing the Ford GTs. Is it now possible? Muscaffi going in the pits then as we look ahead. And we've got a bit of a gap here, so it allows us to catch up. 173 miles an hour. Let's jump to this front pack then. We're on 177 miles an hour heading in towards turn 1. Everybody is absolutely everywhere. Someone just set it on the inside here. Everybody slows up massively. We're going to take advantage of that. Down the inside of the German then up into P9. Happy days indeed. But I don't want to be stuck in traffic. That's the critical part here. This car is better on the infield than the Ford. I don't want to be in traffic on this situation. I just want to catch up to the Ford on the oval where I get the bonus of the slipstream. That's the goal here. We are under 4 seconds off the leader here of Rupee 85 as we continue through left. Got a Peugeot Vision Gran Turismo car up ahead. Now that is a very strong car here. It's not the Meta car, but very strong. I did ask the question in the weekly race guide whether to use it. Decided against it because it was very much up there in the time trial leaderboards as well. So we'll see where we can use that car at some point. But at the moment, we're in this Genesis. Can we do beat the Meta? That is the question. Well, we exit out of here then, right behind the 4G. Hello. Well, I'm not sure where the pug's going there. Solid Mel, going off the circuit as we continue on. And then, oh, that's harsh. They lost the rear end and got a 1.5 second penalty to boot. Now, I was trying to decide where to go here. The Peugeot slightly quicker in a straight line than that Ford as we continue towards bus stop chicane. So I followed them through here. Martel backs out of it then. We follow the Peugeot in and happy days. We go into P8 then. Now we know this. Oh, Peugeot struggles on exit though there. As does the Spaniard up ahead. Called Spaniard, which helps us massively here as we look to follow the Greek up ahead then. Up into P7 we go. Lap number 2. Very much on, but we've lost quite a bit of time in terms of the leader there as we jump to this rear view camera. And you can see the two of them have come together then. Oh, that's what you get where it gets very close. You do have to keep netcode and ping in your mind there. Big crash there as we head towards turn 1 with Creedy just backing out of it then as we go into turn 1. We're going to go a bit deep though into turn 1. Boosted got past Creedy and Boosted's going to get past me here as well then in that Ford GT. Nearly runs me off, but just enough room there for me to stay on as we go into the right hand. I'm sure those hazards were meant for that. Just say, oh, sorry, didn't mean you to be that close as we continue on through here then. So we're in P7 after all of this. Down to 7 seconds now, up to 7 seconds, the gap to the leader. Now, we did leave it a lap, but now we're very close to boosted. I was like, okay, I'm keeping up here. I want to try and get ahead here. I could definitely do faster laps than this. We saw that earlier on in the race. We're going to try and get past boosted in towards turn 1 then. Are we going to do it? That is the question. Through we go. Side-by-side action not going to work out here, unfortunately, as we continue on then. I was hoping to get past. They can always overtake me on the straight, of course. That was the strategy I was hoping to go for, but now Boosted wants to defend this then as we go into the right-hander. So we're still stuck here. 7.2 seconds down. 7.1 seconds now in terms of the leader. And we really need to bring that gap down. We really, really do need to bring that gap down. So lap number 5 then. That gap has come down a tiny bit here. Still 45.5. We can definitely get in the 44s. Looking around the outside again of Boosted. Defends it very nicely this time round. as we continue on through. The German behind me, SC77 Fire, looking to get past me as well, but not going to work so far. They can see them behind me. Racing smart here, not overtaking before the chicane. That is the smart way to race this circuit. Overtake after the chicane, not before it. Now you can see there, we did cut quite a lot of the chicane there. Is it going to be a penalty? Yes, it is. It's a 0.5-second penalty then. We weren't on the yellow stuff. Now, here's a tip for you. If you get a penalty at Daytona, go in the pits if it's a pit stop race, because you lose less time by doing this as we leave the pits then. And we are ahead of Muscaffi. Now, remember, Muscaffi came in on lap 1. We are ahead of Muscaffi then. So P8 is where we're at. The German who was behind us, now ahead of us, has to pit yet. We advance to lap number 10 where not much has changed. We have saved enough fuel this time, and we are going to come home in P5. So we did jump boosted as well, but just pit in that bit earlier. So the penalty actually helped me in the end. It really, really, really did. To P5, not too shabby. Again, we're not in the 17s in terms of race time yet, but we're going to go to the next race then. Race number 4, and we are starting P number 3. This is very interesting indeed. Jack's in this one. We got Flash up ahead as well. We've got Mendy behind as we head towards turn number 1. Then if you are enjoying this video, do you get a like, subscribe to the channel, stay in touch with all the latest content. My word, Flash, you were very close to the pit wall then as we continue on at here. So all I have to do really is stay with these drivers. You just saw my brake balance there. I think it was +4 I was on at this time as we go into the right-hander then. So if I stay with Flash and Jack, there's a potential here. There's always a potential. Something can always happen, and that's what I was hoping for here. But they're pulling away very, very quickly. Let's actually jump towards them then, as they're going to go into a fight, heading in towards this right-hander. Jack on the left, Flash on the right here as we go into this right-hander. Good side-by-side racing, and Flash gets it done. I'm not sure what that driving aid is down in the bottom right there with the exclamation mark. I can't remember, but they're using that then. And it's no issues with using driving aids. If they're there, use them if it helps you. As we go into turn 1, then Flash goes deep. Jack goes through. They are fighting here, which is giving me some help here because I'm right behind them, as you can see here. Lap number 3 then, we are still keeping up here, but the German behind me is catching up to me. Now, in a previous race, this German absolutely sent it, and I was a bit worried they were going to do it again, to be honest with you. The smart thing, as I always say, overtake before the chicane, but they absolutely send it down here into this corner. They're going to go a bit deep here, which I thought, there's no real point to do that, in my opinion. You're just going to lose yourself time, and it did cost some time here as we get stuck behind. However, we're going to continue on bump drafting them now then where we can. Now, up ahead, just keep an eye out. Jack comes in the pits. Flash follows suit right at the very last second. It leaves me and the German, so I've got to work together with the German now to pull up to them and hopefully overtake them because they are fighting. As we head in towards turn 1, though, the German defends it on the inside. And the German hits the barrier. The one time I don't want them to make a mistake, and they're making a mistake. I've got damage. Oh, it's just unbelievable. I don't believe it. And yeah, I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. They hit the pit wall when I really didn't want them to hit the pit wall. We wanted to work together. So it felt like this beat the meta was over. It really was. But Mendy decided to give me a bit of bump drafting, which I really do appreciate, Mendy. Thank you so much, mate. Really do appreciate as we continue on. We did get damage as well, so it slowed us down even more. So Jack and Flash are going to be well ahead of us right now. Really well ahead of us. So I feel like beat the meta for this race is over. But let's see what we can do in terms of race time. Try and get in the 17s at least, and then we can see what we can do going forward. We are fast forwarding a little bit though here as we continue on. Then Mendy catching up to me. Is Mendy going to bump draft me? I was going to bump draft. Oh, cheers, mate. I appreciate that. I've got a chance here now. We got a chance. We've got a chance. We've got clean air. We just got a bump draft on Mendy as well, which I hugely appreciate here as we go into turn number 1. We just have to put our head down and go for some 44 laps. That's our only shot here. It really, really, really is. Lap number 7 then, and what we're going to do actually is jump backwards here because we jump up with Jack, who's caught up to some people, or one individual here, who hasn't pit yet. But Jack gets it all wrong on the exit there, going onto the oval. Loses the rear end. That's going to cost him some time. Flash goes into the lead then there, and that has cost Jack a lot here indeed. And Jack got the 1 point. That penalty is very harsh. Very, very harsh. Jack's also done a 1:44.4. Look at that lap time. That's faster than I'm doing at the moment, so it doesn't look like we're going to win this one. The German, however, does overtake them here and looking to overtake Flash up ahead. Now, the German going to send it again, potentially a slight tap on Flash as we go into the right-hander. Looking to get the job done there is the German driver. The German's overtaking the Brit as well. Ooh, okay. This race has just got very interesting. You can see that I am noticing this slight tap between the two. Again, I am noticing this happen on the boards. No idea what's going on. Yeah, no idea what's going on whatsoever at this moment. Obviously, you do now because I'm editing this and edited it at this time. But the German and Flash are fighting. This all helps me, of course. It really does help me. But at the moment, I feel like I'm still behind. I do feel like I'm still behind at this moment in time. Bit of bug drafting there going on between Flash and the German driver. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name as we head into the bus stop chicane once again. Lap number 8. Through we go.
They're still fighting. They're still fighting. You know what I mean?
Still fighting. You can see I'm looking. I'm trying to look what's happening. Trying to get a feel for what's happening. Do I have a chance? Do I not have a chance? That is the question. Right here, though, then. The German not wanting to bump draft here. Slight tap between Flash and the German. Between the two of them. Here they go. They've got huge contact happening. How they both survived that, I do not know. Oh, a break. I can't remember what they call it. The brake test there happening in towards a brake check as we go into turn 1. Then the German gets it back, costing him time here. 45.9 in terms of lap times. Let's jump back towards Flash then. Flash not happy at this moment in time. Damage on the rear of that car as well as we go into the right-hander. That damage will obviously come off, but it does slow you down as we go through the right-hander and continue on out here then. As we continue on in towards the right-hander, we go. Another tap.
Extremely close.
As you heard, it's going to be extremely close. Oh, he's spun him round. He's spun him.
Oh, the German's binned it. The German's binned it somewhere. This is going to be... Oh, it's going to be close. This is going to be flipping close.
Going to be very close indeed as we jump back to me at the chicane and going into the pits then.
Oh. Oh.
There we go, folks. We're in the lead. Lap 10, we're in the lead. We stayed out of trouble. Can we get to the end then? That is the question.
Go, Tidge, go! Come on!
You can feel the excitement in my voice going into the chicane, and I just need to not mess this up. Please don't mess this up.
Oh. That was the worst chicane in history.
Worst chicane I ever did. It really was. Let's jump to my reaction at the end.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
Yeah! How? I don't know how in that race I did that.
Oh, yes! That is a win. Wow. What an insanely weird race.
Exactly. What an insanely weird race. We had crashing in there. All sorts of craziness. But we come out P1 and in the 17s as well. I'm overly happy about that one.
Wow. Yes! Oh my goodness me. Wow.
Just wow. Honestly, I could not believe it. And you can see that in my reaction as well. I could not believe it. But we've done Beat the Meta in the Genesis. I thought this week was going to be solid, but we did it in 4 races. Now, if you're unsure of what Beat the Metas we've done so far, you can see here all first places there in the first 10. This is in alphabetical order, of course. Well, it's actually in position order, then alphabetical order, just to give you some context. But yeah, we did Beat the Meta. I'm so over the moon with that. I really am. The Genesis is done. Now, a lot of people want to know where the Genesis sits in the car profile. So, of course, the Genesis car profile is the next car profile that will be coming out. And it'll be a very interesting test, I'm sure. I've not done it yet. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting test indeed. See there, 25 votes. All these votes are up to date right now. They are. So now where we're at is essentially where we go forward. So the Ford GT race car in P29, I did try that at this circuit. Not the greatest. That's got 35 votes at the moment. So potentially we'll be looking at that because we've only got a second place. The meta this week, the Ford GTLM race car Spec 2. We've only got a second with that. So we'll have to look at where we can do Beat the Meta in that car going forward, of course. Looking further down, the Nissan GTR Nismo GT3 car also has 35 votes. So it's very close between the Ford and the Nissan then. What we do next, of course, it can't be the Meta car in order to do Beat the Meta. Got some other votes in there. The Silhouette, I did try that here. It's very slow, so I'm not sure how I'm going to win on that one, but we'll see. The BLZ is also quite a common vote at the moment as we get towards the back of the pack then, where the SLS got a vote this week. And I did try the SLS here. The SLS surprised me here, actually. The SLS could work in terms of Beat the Meta at Daytona. It was just lower in the votes, which is the reason why I didn't do it, should I say. Now, in terms of voting, to vote for the car you want to see next, just put it in the comments. Name the car, I have the votes up, you get a love heart, then you know the vote is counted. Now, if you did enjoy this video, do give it a like, subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. This was a very, very good fun Beat the Meta, it really was. And it was so weird how it turned out. The previous Beat the Meta there for you. There's also a car profile there as well if you want to check that out. But that is going to be it for me, folks. A big, big thank you for all the support. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.